Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So in this video we are going to discuss about the blood supply of the kidney. So this video is going to be interesting. Please make sure to watch it till the end. So the kidneys are supplied by the renal arteries, right? So we know that they are supplied by the renal arteries. So the right kidney is supplied by the right renal artery and the left kidney is supplied by the left renal artery. So basically there is one renal artery for each kidney, and in about 30% of the individuals we have accessory renal arteries. So that is something you need to remember. In 30% of the individuals we have accessory renal arteries. So basically these renal arteries are arising from the abdominal aorta, right? Abdominal aorta. They arise from the abdominal aorta at the level of the L1 to L2. At the level of L1, L2 vertebra, from the abdominal aorta arises the renal arteries to supply both the kidneys. So basically we have the kidney, right? Suppose that this is the kidney and this is the abdominal aorta. From the abdominal aorta, just below the origin of the superior mesenteric artery arises the renal artery, and it passes through the renal pelvis. So this area is the renal pelvis, right? This much area. This is the renal pelvis. So basically arising from the abdominal aorta is the renal artery. So what happens after entering through the renal artery? This renal artery will give branches called as the, basically I'm just telling you the branches and I'll draw and show you in detail. So from the renal artery arises the segmental arteries. From the renal artery arises the segmental arteries, and from the segmental arteries we have lobar arteries. They are further divided into lobar arteries. From the lobar arteries we have the interlobar arteries, and same continuation. From the interlobar arteries we have arcuate arteries. Arcuate arteries will further divide into interlobular arteries. Interlobular, this is the interlobar, and they have the interlobular arteries. From the interlobular arteries, it finally give rise to the efferent arterioles. Efferent arterioles that will supply the glomerulus. From the efferent arterioles, they will end by becoming the efferent arterioles. So basically we have the renal artery dividing into the segmental arteries. These segmental arteries will divide into the lobar arteries. They will further subdivide into the interlobar arteries, and they will give rise to the arcuate arteries, and they will further subdivide into the interlobular arteries, and finally they will give rise to the afferent arterioles. These afferent arterioles, after forming the glomerulus, they will become the efferent arterioles, and these efferent arterioles will form the peritubular capillaries, and finally they will rail along the vein of the similar corresponding arteries. So basically these are the branches of the renal arteries that is supplying. Now I will draw in detail to show you how these are done. So basically if you see, this is the kidney. This is the kidney, right? And then the renal artery will arise through the hilum, and then it will divide into segmental arteries. So basically this is the anterior portion of the kidney, and this is the posterior portion of the kidney. This is the posterior portion. So anterior portion, this will divide it into 4 different segmental arteries. They are known as the apical region, then this one's the upper, middle, and this is the lower. So basically we have 4 segmental arteries giving blood supply to the apical region of the kidney, upper region of the kidney, middle region, and the lower region of the kidney in the anterior side. From the posterior side we only have one region, that is the posterior surface of the kidney. So these are the anterior segmental arteries, these are the posterior segmental artery. Just between the anterior and the posterior segmental arteries we have a avascular line. So basically this is the avascular line that is arising between the anterior and the posterior surface, and this has certainly no blood supply, and that is called as the Brodal's line. Brodda's line is an avascular line. So basically it's an important anatomical landmark. So it is on the posterior aspect of the kidney at the junction of the medial 2/3 and lateral 1/3. So it's a functional avascular plane between the posterior segment medially and also the upper and the middle segments laterally. Hence it's a suitable site for surgical incision to remove the renal stones. So if you want to remove the renal stones that are found in the kidney, so basically this forms the surgical incision to remove the renal stones, and the removal of the renal stones is also called as the nephrolithotomy. So this is about the segmental arteries. Now once the segmental arteries will pass through the kidney, so we have the kidney, right? Once they pass through the kidney, these are the renal pyramids, right? Renal pyramids. So this is a segmental artery, it will give rise to the lobar arteries. This is the lobar artery, and further lobar artery will give rise to the interlobar arteries. These are the interlobar arteries. They will give rise to the arcuate arteries. These are the arcuate arteries, and further arcuate arteries will give rise to the interlobular arteries. These interlobular arteries finally will give the efferent arterioles. So these are the segmental arteries. It will give rise to the lobar arteries. Lobar arteries will give rise to the interlobar arteries. Interlobar arteries will give rise to the arcuate arteries. From the arcuate arteries arises the branches of the interlobular arteries, and finally from the interlobular arteries we have the efferent arteriole giving rise to the glomerulus and also the efferent arteriole. So basically this is the entire blood supply of the kidney. So thank you guys, thank you for watching video today. Make sure to subscribe and hit the like button. Thank you so much.